My name is Maddox and I'm a Cub Scout. I'm here to talk to you today about becoming a Cub Scout like me. Who here knows what Cub Scouts do? Well, since this is a video, I'm just going to tell you about what they do and let's see if you're right. Cub Scouts get badges for doing fun activities and we make friends. Scouts go camping, climbing, fishing, and swimming together. We have fun. We play sports and go to parades. Scouts also help people and become the very best versions of themselves. Scouts become future leaders too. In fact, some Scouts have even made history. Did you know that some of our former presidents, astronauts, award-winning scientists, and actors were Scouts when they were your age? Here's an example of something Cub Scouts get to do each year. Wait for it. We use our skills to make rockets and then we fly them. So, who wants to become a Cub Scout? Okay, well, this is still a video, so I'm going to need you to let me know in a different way. If you want to join, visit beascout.org to find a pack near you, get any questions answered, and sign up for Cub Scouts online. Make sure you have an adult help you with that part though. Hey, thanks for watching my video, and I hope to see you again soon as a Cub Scout like me.
Lots of ways to be a kid. My way is to take a road that's not easy. It winds through woods and goes up steep hills. So it's a good thing I'm an adventurer. That's why I'm going to be a Cub Scout, because scouting will guide me to really big things. It will teach me to navigate the woods with confidence, and to navigate the world with confidence too. The scouting road will start with my very best right now self, and will lead me to my very best future self. Scouting will show me a kid who is brave, trustworthy, loyal, and kind. A kid who is always prepared. A kid who is me. Because there are lots of ways to be a kid. And my way is in the Cub Scouts. So scout me in.
When Benjamin was born, we knew that he was going to have some challenges right off the bat. We were actually able to get some doctors online so that they were actually at the hospital when he was born because he was going to go into surgery. One of those doctors gave us some great advice, and he said, don't put your child in a box. The way that he's going to be born is going to be his normal, and you need to treat him like a normal kid.
Biggest challenges that Benjamin has is that he was born with spina bifida, and as he continued to develop and grow, one of our biggest prayers for him was that he would find a group of people that would be there to support him, help him to just develop into a great kid and great adult in a fun environment where he could be treated like any other kid and have fun at the same time. One of the biggest gifts that we can give our son is the gift of independence. And scouting has provided that platform to where he gets to learn, develop, and grow the skills he needs and to prove to himself that he can indeed be not only independent, but also flourish. My son earning that distinction of being an Eagle Scout is opening up tons of doors. He's gotten congratulatory letters and notes from countless people already, and more continue to flood in. It's given him a wealth of self-confidence, and he feels that this really does give him that check mark of having something of major significance as part of him, and that's a huge thing.
Ben, you're going to be challenged in your life, and quite honestly, I don't want you to have one that you slide through and end up wherever you want because it was easy. But what I can tell you is what you've achieved as a young man stands as a measure of a bar that was raised well above your fighting weight, young man, that you have accepted the challenge and you have done well. This is what you have been taught, and that is why we are pleased today to say congratulations, America's newest Eagle Scout.
Tons of scouts have helped me, and so knowing that I've made it to this point, I could not have made it at all without the help of all the dads that have helped me, the scouts that have been there for me. Like, to me, scouting is all about that, just helping people being successful. My name is Benjamin Wagoner, and I am Eagle Scout number 527 in Troop 890.
I'm helping my daughter get on the right path. I'm helping her discover who she is.
I'm helping them seize the day and make the most of the opportunities in front of them.
I'm watching my son find out how to do what he loves to do.
Learning from those who've been there before.
I'm exploring my future. I'm an explorer.
I'm an explorer.
I'm an explorer.
I am an explorer. When I'm exploring, here's what I'm not. I'm not just a kid. I'm not playing video games.
Nope. I'm not staring at the TV.
I'm not bored. I'm not lazy.
I'm not sitting around after school looking for something to do.
When I'm exploring, I'm home.
I'm with my buds. I'm with friends.
I'm in my happy place.
I'm in the zone. I'm right where I want to be.
Sure, I try hard in school and do my homework.
But I feel like Exploring Club prepares me for my future in a different way.
I mean, where else does a kid my age get to do all this cool stuff I love?
Where can I find great mentors
who work in the career fields I'm interested in?
Where can I be me?
I learn by doing.
I belong by exploring.
Let's go, guys, get your stuff.
Don't forget your coffee. And I'll meet you there later with the food.
Sounds good.
Hey, guys.
Hey, honey.
So the cooler's in there, and the snacks are in that one. I'll see y'all later. Oh, don't forget your coffee.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
What about you?
Scout me in.
Let's go.
This is where I find adventure. This is where I gain confidence. This is where I laugh. This is where I hang out. This is where we make memories. We don't do this every day. But when we do, we make sure it's an adventure. This is our life. This is venturing.
Hello there, my name is Eden and I'm a Cub Scout. I'm here to talk to you today about becoming a Cub Scout like me. Who here knows what Cub Scouts do? Well, since this is a video, I'm just going to tell you what they do, and let's see if you're right. Cub Scouts get badges for doing fun activities, and we make friends. Scouts go camping, climbing, fishing, and swimming together. We have fun, we play sports, and go to parades. Scouts also help people and become the best versions of themselves. Scouts become future leaders. In fact, some Scouts have even made history. Did you know that some of our former presidents, astronauts, award-winning scientists, and actors were Scouts when they were your age? Here's an example of something Cub Scouts get to do each year. Wait for it. We use our skills to make rockets and then we fly them. So who wants to become a Cub Scout? Okay, this is still a video, so I'm gonna need you to let me know in a different way. If you want to join, visit beascout.org to find a path near you, get any questions answered, and sign up for Cub Scouts online. Make sure you have an adult help you with that part though. Hey, thanks for watching my video. I hope to see you again soon, as a Cub Scout like me.
There's no one way to explore the world. My way is to push myself and never take the easy road.
I prefer a road that winds through forests and goes up mountains because I've always been an adventurer at heart. That's why I can't wait to be a scout.
Because scouting will guide me to great things. It won't just teach me to navigate the woods with confidence, but it'll give me the confidence to navigate the world.
I'll enter the Scouts as the best version of myself today and will grow into the best version of myself for my future.
Scouting will show me how to use bravery, trustworthiness, loyalty, and kindness to become a person I'm proud to be.
Because there's no one way to explore the world, and my way is in the Scouts. So
scout me in.
Thank you for supporting Scouting!
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 2020 American Values Luncheon. My name is Scott Myers, and I serve as the Executive Director of the State of Alabama Sports Hall of Fame, and I'm proud to serve as the MC of the first virtual American Values Luncheon. And we want to thank you for joining us and supporting the Greater Alabama Council. We have a great program today with NFL Hall of Fame quarterback Terry Bradshaw. Traditionally, this would be the time when we would ask you to take your seat, but under the circumstances, we hope you enjoy the program from where you are now. As a former scout myself, I know that our scouts learn leadership and citizenship through active participation, and we always begin a meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join our Scouts for an opening ceremony at Camp Sequoia, followed by our invocation with the Reverend Andre Sparks, who is the senior pastor and charter partner of Scouting at the 45th Street Baptist Church in Birmingham.
Please join me in the honor of the American flag. Scout salute. Our pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everyone, please join me in the Scout Oath and Law. Scout Oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty, to God and my country, to obey the Scout Law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Scout Law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
Hello everyone, my name is Amelia and I'm from Troop 86G in the Vulcan District. I'd like to welcome you all to the 2020 American Values Luncheon, and thank you for your support and consideration to Scouting at the Greater Alabama Council. I would like to also take this opportunity to thank you for your attendance and especially thank our individual and corporate sponsors of this wonderful event. We have a terrific program scheduled for you today, so please sit back and enjoy. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Andre Sparks and I serve as senior pastor of 45th Street Baptist Church in the East Lake community. We're proud to have hosted a Boy Scout troop for about 20 plus years now. I also have the honor of serving as the presiding judge for the city of Birmingham, Alabama. If you will, allow me to lead us in prayer. Our Father and our God, we thank you so much for allowing us to come and to share in this wonderful American Values Luncheon. We thank you for the Scouting movement and what it means to our country. And we celebrate all of those who will be honored here today. We thank you for the guidance and the support of Scout leaders, of the parents, family, and friends, and those who support the Scouting program. We thank you for making this day so enjoyable, and we ask you to bless those who worked hard to make this day a success. Lord, we thank you for the freedoms we have in our country. We thank you for the freedoms in this community, and we thank you for this beautiful country that we live in. We thank you for this food that's been prepared. We ask you to bless this food, help it to be nourishment for our bodies, just as we pray this fellowship nourishes our spirits. We thank you, Lord, for all you've done, and it's in your holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Scouts and Reverend Sparks, and God bless America. What a fine way to open our program. We would like to begin today by recognizing distinguished guests and event leadership. First of all, Terry Bradshaw, NFL Hall of Fame quarterback. More on Terry to come later. Mr. Mark Drew, American Values Luncheon co-chairman. Mr. Jerry Perkins, American Values Luncheon co-chairman. Mr. Greg King, the 2020 chairman of the board of Greater Alabama Council Boy Scouts of America. Mr. J.T. Dabbs, Scout Executive of the Greater Alabama Council Boy Scouts of America. Dr. Rob Spiegel, Assistant Scoutmaster, Troop 76, Liberty Park. And finally, Isaiah Mix, Eagle Scout. All of our event leaders who have made the event a huge success. I'm sure that we have many special guests joining us virtually today, including distinguished Eagle Scouts, former board chairman, and our event sponsors that include Mr. T. Michael Goodrich, past chairman of the board and distinguished Eagle Scout of Greater Alabama Council Boy Scouts of America. Mr. James T. Stevens, past chairman of the board and distinguished Eagle Scout. Mr. Jim Huey, past chairman of the board and distinguished Eagle Scout. Mr. David Wood II, past chairman of the board and also distinguished Eagle Scout. And finally, Mr. Phil Webb, immediate past chairman of the board. And most importantly, our event sponsors, Alabama Power Company, Altech Industries, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama, Iberia Bank, James T. Stevens, Medical Properties Trust, Protective Life Corporation, Regions Bank, Robbins and Morton, and Stuart Perry, Timberline Management, Vulcan Material Company, Webb Concrete and Building Materials, And finally, Wood Fruitiker. We also wish to recognize all past American Values Heart of an Eagle Award honorees and distinguished Eagle Scouts, as well as the Greater Alabama Council board members, public officials, and Eagle Scouts who are with us to help bring citizenship to our community. The most important part of the Scouting program is the adult volunteer leaders who mentor our youth and guide them to be their very best. 2020 has been a difficult year in many ways for Scouting, with hard decisions that include how to provide a safe learning environment for the Scouts and the summer camping programs. Dr. Rob Spiegel is a physician and one of our Scout leaders who has shared insight and knowledge on how we are offering our outdoor programs during the global pandemic. Let's hear from Dr. Spiegel.
I'd like to thank Mr. Terry Bradshaw for sharing his time with us and coming to talk about leadership and how Scouting affects our youth. My name is Rob Spiegel, and I'm the Scoutmaster of Troop 76, chartered at Grace United Methodist Church. We have 70 Scouts, and we took 22 of them to Scout Camp this summer. I'm a physician who sees patients both inpatient, in the hospital, and in the office, and I tried to find every way possible to not go to camp. However, after reviewing what the council and the camp director had decided to do to make our Scouts safe, I decided to take our Scouts to camp. Some of those included masks, social distancing, and major changes such as 1 Scout per cabin and food being prepared in the kitchen and being delivered to the campsite so that Scouts were not congregating in the dining hall. In addition, I felt that our Scouts would be safer in a controlled environment rather than roaming the neighborhoods. Scout Camp is a unique opportunity for Scouts to learn unique opportunities that they would not otherwise have found in school. Some of those include target shooting, cooking, welding, motorboating. Some other opportunities are high adventure, including Ocoee river rafting, horseback riding, and snow skiing. Another important part of Scouting is placing young men and young women in positions of leadership. We do that in our troop by selecting a senior patrol leader each year. And that senior patrol leader has to pick a vision for that 6 months. Our new senior patrol leader has chosen POP, P-O-P, Plan, Overcome, Proceed. He is now currently educating and communicating his vision to his leadership team. During the leadership training, those Scouts also found that goals had to be SMART: specific, measurable, attainable, reliable, and timely. Those Scouts are now currently planning their meetings, overcoming the challenges of COVID, and proceeding with their plans to keep our Scouts focused. Our Scout leaders have found that this environment with virtual meetings is very difficult to communicate and educate when you cannot see Scouts eye to eye. And keeping those same Scouts focused and interested in Scouting has been a challenge. Your supporting of Scouting is greatly appreciated. There are a lot of Scouts who may not be able to otherwise have afforded going to camp and doing some of the things we learn in Scouting. Thank you again for your support. I would now like to introduce Eagle Scout Isaiah Mix to share his experience in Scouting.
Even though I have autism, being an Eagle Scout means I have accomplished something very difficult, and now I belong to this very special group that only a few are privileged enough to be in. There are even presidents and astronauts who are in this group. My Eagle project for the community was a blessing box. A blessing box is a storage for the community for people to donate food and other supplies for people who are less fortunate. Completing my Eagle Scout awards and earning my American citizenship is like two dreams coming true at the same time on the same year. Completing my Citizen of the Nation merit badge before becoming an actual U.S. citizen was great. In fact, I think it's something that all citizens should do to learn how to keep America strong by working together. I could be a role model for Scouts who have autism. If I can do it, so can they. I had a wonderful and supportive Scoutmaster, Mr. Jeremy Horton, who believed in me, and together in my troop, I was able to not only accomplish things, but also made such great memories and such great friends. It's important, especially when you have autism, so as long as you don't give up, you can do it too. Well, this is how I earned my Heroism Award. I was swimming in the Rocky Mountains when there was this little boy drifting by me screaming for help. I realized quickly that there was trouble, so I swam as fast as I could to him, and by the time when I was about to reach to him, he dove underwater to drown, but I dove under after him and was able to get him back up to the surface and get him back to his parents, and we were all very happy that he was okay.
Thank you, Isaiah, for sharing the impact of scouting in your life. Today we're honoring Bill Morton and Tim Vines while supporting the Boy Scouts of America. You can influence the life of a young person through scouting. All of you joined us today because you appreciate the values that scouting stands for. Values that make our country strong, our communities safe, and our families successful. We appreciate the support of our sponsors who share these beliefs and for your personal support of scouting. Many of you joined today as a guest, and we want to give everyone an opportunity to support scouting financially today. Our suggested gift is $325 per person, which supports a scout for 1 year. A $500 gift will fund a Cub Scout, a Boy Scout, a Venturer, and provide a summer camping experience. At this time, I ask you to consider a personal gift to help an individual scout such as Isaiah Mix. And note that a $20 contribution will provide a handbook for a scout. Please click on the link to donate now, or you may also make your gift through text to give by texting GACBSA to the number 41444. We will tally the contributions as they come in and share a total before we adjourn. Thank you all. Now I will turn the program over to Scott Myers.
Thank you, Mark. And I encourage all of you to support scouting and the good it does for our youth and our community. Please continue completing your commitment to scouting as we recognize our 2020 Heart of an Eagle Award recipients. Today we have the privilege of honoring the lifetime service of two extraordinary men, Bill Morton and Mr. Tim Vines. We have prepared a special recognition called the Heart of an Eagle Award, honoring those who have lived their lives by the Scout Oath and law. Our first honoree is Mr. William Bill Morton. Bill Morton was born in 1964 and grew up in Birmingham. He earned a BS degree in building science from Auburn University in 1987. During his summer vacations in high school and college, he worked for Robbins & Morton as a carpenter and a laborer. Upon graduation from Auburn, Bill joined Robbins & Morton full-time. His early assignments included various roles on projects throughout the country. In 1992, he moved to the headquarters in Birmingham and for the next 10 years worked in several management positions. In 2002, Bill was named president and assumed the day-to-day leadership of the company. He became chairman and CEO in 2015 in the current position he serves. One of Bill's major goals is to continue the client-focused and family-oriented culture that has helped the company grow and prosper. That effort has earned Robbins & Morton the recognition of being among the top 25 medium-sized companies in the United States as the best small and medium companies to work for in America by the Society of Human Resource Management. In addition, Glassdoor highly ranks the company a 4.6 star for an employer. Bill is a strong advocate of local businesses and community engagement and active in the Birmingham Business Alliance, Birmingham Downtown Rotary Club, Blue Cross and Blue Shield board member, Greater Alabama Council of Boy Scouts of America, and Oakworth Capital Bank. Bill is married to the former Layla Stevens, and they have 2 children, William and Ann Miller. Bill enjoys hunting, fishing, and golf. Please join us in recognizing Mr. Bill Morton. Our next honoree is Mr. Tim Vines. Mr. Vines serves as President and Chief Executive Officer of Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama, the largest provider of health care benefits in Alabama, serving nearly 3 million members, of which 2 million reside within the state. Mr. Vines began his career at Blue Cross as a management candidate. During his 26 years at Blue Cross, he has held roles that include responsibility, including Vice President and Chief Operating Officer, President and Chief Operating Officer, and was most recently named President and CEO in April of 2018. Mr. Vines is also active in other key leadership roles, serving on the Board of Directors of Regions Financial Corporation and on the Executive Committee and Board of Trustees for Samford University. He also serves on the board of the Economic Development Partnership of Alabama, Business Council of Alabama, Birmingham Business Alliance, American Red Cross, Alabama Region, and Leadership Birmingham. Mr. Vines graduated from Auburn University in 1988 with a degree in finance. Please join me in honoring Mr. Tim Vines. Thank you, everyone, and please recognize these tremendous leaders as you see them in your community. Today, our speaker will have a town hall discussion with Mark Drew, JT Dabbs, and myself, and we'll discuss the importance of leadership, teamwork, and ask a few tough questions. And that's always an exciting part of the program. Now, I know our speaker needs no introduction, but humor me as I tell you a little bit about my childhood hero, Hall of Fame quarterback Terry Bradshaw. He is a man of vision who has a proven record of championship success. The only NFL player with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Bradshaw continues to defy all odds in many ways. 4-year champion with Pittsburgh Steelers, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, Pro Football Hall of Fame, multi-Emmy Awards, Fox News analyst, popular actor doing all types of comedy, including a romance, Failure to Launch. Also does a little gospel singing, best-selling author, breeder of championship horses. We could go on and on. No one can spiral them into the end zone like my hero, Terry Bradshaw. A native of Shreveport, Louisiana, Bradshaw attended Woodlawn High School. The program also produced Buffalo Bills great Joe Ferguson. He went on to attend Louisiana Tech, where he still holds a single-season passing record and total offense record. First team AP All-American in 1970, drafted first in the NFL by the great Pittsburgh Steelers. Today is here to inspire us and remind us the importance of helping others. It is my honor to lead the discussion with the great Terry Bradshaw. Welcome to the 2020 Virtual American Values Luncheon. This is our 13th annual event and benefiting the Greater Alabama Council of Boy Scouts of America. Last year, our guest speaker was Coach Nick Saban from the University of Alabama. The year prior to that, it was Coach Gus Malzahn and his former quarterback Cam Newton. And we're super glad for you to be here to share with us on leadership, teamwork, giving back to your community, all of those things. Now, I'm not going to ask you a difficult question to get started. I'm going to ask you something a little easier. So I'm not going to ask you about which receiver was better, John Stallworth or Lynn Swann.
Well, you should ask me that. That's a good question.
Well, the question I want to know is, are you more inclined to be an Alabama guy or an Auburn guy?
All right. Let me give you two answers because the one is for sure. I love Alabama because they've been winning. And all Americans love winners. I'm somewhat of I pull for LSU, not as much, but I do pull for them. I love Coach Saban. I love greatness. We have that in Belichick in New England. We have it in Saban at Alabama. They've got that program going, and it's a beautiful thing to watch, if you know what I'm saying. Auburn, I have a soft spot in my heart for Auburn because I sent a young man to Auburn to go to vet school. And his name was Ronnie Hughes, and he became a vet, and he paid me back. I paid for the schooling, and then he paid me back once he graduated and started practice. So on one hand, Auburn, because of my academic affiliation, and Alabama just because how can you not admire what Alabama has done the last 10 years?
That's right. That's right. Well, those are obviously the two flagship programs in our state, but we've got some other fantastic football. What Coach Bill Clark's doing at UAB, Troy University has a great program, and then what I consider to be the finest university in the state of Alabama, Samford, which has a good football team as well.
Is that Samford and Sons?
Yeah, that's right. It's Samford and Sons.
Oh, Samford and Sons.
What are your thoughts on this coming football season, the 2020 year, with what's happening in the NFL and college? What are your some general thoughts you'd like to share with us?
I'm right now very close to Fox and staying, and they're keeping us connected with what's going on daily. We are going to have the NFL, and so JT and Mark and you, everyone that's involved, rest. We're going to have football. How we're going to have it may be like they're doing right now with basketball and baseball. But we are going to open the season up. We are going to have Thursday night football, Monday night football, just like you've always seen it. Some owners are opting, like Jerry Jones said, we're going to fill the house up. And then some are saying 25% capacity. So I don't know. Well, I don't know. I do know we're going to pipe in noise so that will help all of us sitting at home be able to appreciate what's happening on the field without the fans being there. But so NFL zone, it's going to happen. College football is my biggest disappointment because I'm such a huge college football fan. Jimmy Johnson and I watch college football starting at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning. Now, we get all our work done for Fox by Friday. And then he and I go for a walk, 6 to 8 miles. We come in, clean up, and we have breakfast, and we have football on at 9 o'clock. And we watch it all day long. So I'm going to miss that. I know we have the Big 12, the SEC, and the ACC are committed, plus Notre Dame. But and there's going to be those are your Power Five or three of the Power Five, and so we're going to miss a bunch of the sub ones, which would be Louisiana Tech. I don't know what's going to happen there yet. I did make a phone call the other day, and the decision had not been made, and so we'll see. If it hasn't been made by now, I got a feeling they're going to play football. Yeah. People in the South, we just have to have our ball, don't we?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, again, whether we're talking about college football or a reason for being here today, scouting, you need strong leadership. And I'd like to tell you that the strong leadership in the Greater Alabama Council of Scouting had their summer camps. They had over 700 kids that were able to participate in athletic activities outside, and the importance of that. So it's made a big difference, and people need to be engaged in athletic activities as best they can.
I agree with that 100%. I know as a young man, I was a scout when I lived in Iowa, and I couldn't wait because we got a small community, scattered, and so my scouting activities, my brother and I, we thoroughly loved it. We never got to go to a camp. It's different now, and I'm really happy that the young men were able to go to a camp, and I know it was supervised properly, and the leadership that they get from these camps, from their team leaders, it's invaluable because it teaches you so much in life. And I know all of you know this, but when you go to those camps and you put 700 kids in those camps, I know as grown men, you're able to go from whatever. I equate it to like football. We go from the blocking of the linemen to the defense, the linebackers. And as you move through the quarterbacks and wide receivers, you are able to pick up on who is in charge. You pick up on what young men really love to take control of the situation. And those are your scouting leaders. Now, those are the people that are going to really step up, make something out of their lives. It's a fun thing to see. Even with my kids, with my 3 girls, I can watch them, I would never tell them which ones I know are really strong leaders, but there's a couple of them that are really good. And there's one that's kind of like, oh, Lord, Dad, I'm just going to take it easy.
Gary, Mark
Yes,
Drew here. I can't tell you what an honor and a pleasure it is to be here. Like the rest of us on this event, I grew up watching you play on Sundays and Monday Night Football, and that'll always be a fond memory. Wanted to ask you a couple of questions. First, love to hear about your relationship with John Stallworth, a good Alabama boy who's actually come back to Alabama and been quite a success.
Right.
And I guess number 12 and the MVP on the other end of his amazing catches in Super Bowl 13.
Stallworth, small black school.
Yes, sir.
I went to predominantly all-white school. So when John Stallworth came to Pittsburgh as a 3rd or 4th round draft pick, as a matter of fact, Chuck Knowles went down to A&M, Alabama A&M, to scout someone else. And on the film, he kept noticing this receiver making all these big plays. And that got his attention to John Stallworth. He didn't want anybody to know about it. You know how it was back then. You could keep secrets. And so we drafted John. John, smart young man, beautiful route runner. If you want to know the difference between my 2 receivers, let me say this about you put together a team, and the team is made up of individuals. And those individuals, what makes the team so good is each individual believes in the game plan. Each individual is selfless. And everyone is totally, if you're doing that, you're supporting one another. And everybody wants to win. We want to be the ones that win no matter what. So when you compete, Lynn Swan from Southern California, he majored in communications, and he came in at same time as our number 1 pick, as Stallworth. And John came in, probably had an engineering degree because he ended up with a space engineering company, sold it for millions of dollars, got more money than anybody on the Steelers team ever thought about having, and is now part owner, whether you guys know this or not, of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No, I didn't know.
So y'all, listen, in our fundraiser today, we need to make a personal phone call to John Stallworth and get some of that money. All right? I'll do that. I'll give you his number if you don't have it. Anyway, Stallworth was a beautiful route runner, long-legged guy, and he was real smooth. And Lynn was a little more choppy. They both ran 4.4 40s, no difference. Both ran a 4.4, but Lynn was a choppy and John was smooth. And John looks like he's going slow until you try to catch him, and he's really long stride, and he was impossible. A great route runner. Oh, beautiful route runner with amazing hands, soft hands. And Lynn, on the other hand, John in Super Bowl 13 had a huge game. John in Super Bowl 14 won that game and should have been the MVP in Super Bowl 14. There's no question about that, in my opinion. Lynn was a great athletic guy, great leaper. Unbelievable skills in the air to twist his body and make catches. And I remember someone said, if Bradshaw had been more accurate, we wouldn't have got to hurt us so much. And that's not a smart thing to say, because I deliberately threw the ball behind him, over him, under him, so they could showcase that skill. See, that's what a great leader does, right, guys? Mark, JT, so he ought to thank me instead of criticizing me. But both very competitive, both great in the big games, and both fearless. Both will go over the middle, lay them out, no problem. Just great, great players. You don't put 12 people off a 22-man squad, defense and offense, into the Hall of Fame unless they're great people. That's a lot of folks. Donnie Shell went in this year. That's just crazy.
That's pretty amazing. Well, thank you. Let me ask you a question on that note. How do you compare the talent, size, and speed of players today to when you were playing?
Well, consistently today, way bigger.
Yeah.
Joe Green was here at the house a couple of weeks ago, and we had a big fish fry in the backyard, and he brought his family. Joe, huge man, 275. Defensive tackle. Now they'd be 315, 320. Linebackers, now 6'5", 250, run 4.5 40. So speed per position, much faster. Corners not necessarily so, because the corners, we own the market on big corners. JT on one side was 6'1", Mel Blount was 6'4", and both could run. So that has not changed so much. Both are extremely fast. Not 4.2, not 4.3, but extremely fast. One of them is in the Hall of Fame, Mel Blount. running backs, a different football game, because what you're seeing today, Mark, in the NFL is, JT, y'all remember back in the 60s when Joe Namath and Jack Hale and all those guys for the American Football League were playing, and they would throw the football 50 times a game. And we used to, all of us in college would watch that and go, man, this is fabulous. Throwing that football everywhere. That is today's current NFL, throwing the football. So you have more speed. What the linemen now average 6'5", offensive 6'5". My left guard weighed 242. My right guard weighed 246. 6'3" was one of them. 6'2" was the other. My center was 6'1", 255. Hall of Famer Mike Webster. Left tackle 255 in John Cove. Right tackle was 287. Larry Brown at 6'5". My tight end Benny Cunningham from Clemson, he outweighed them all. He was 265, 6'5", 265. So, but on the all, much more speed, much bigger men.
Yeah. One last question, Terry, and this is a two-parter. Was there ever a player that you feared or respected a whole lot? And what are your thoughts on Jack Lambert's comment or quote that dresses? All quarterbacks should wear dresses?
Well, I'd have to ask Scott Myers that. Scott, you were quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't wear any dresses.
Right. I had a great deal of worry about Martin and Two-Dog Jones for Dallas. Those two biggest human beings I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
On two ends, all 6'5". Too tall was what, 6'8"? And when I get down under my center got really low in his buttocks over the ball, so I had to squat down on it, kind of like a jockey riding a horse. And so when you looked out, you just saw these two massive butts sticking up in the air. And that was those two guys. So those guys and Randy Johnson, is it Randy Johnson? Yeah, wasn't that right? At tackle, the Manster. Yeah. And yeah, he was a frightening guy. He was 6'5", 275 and could run like. So those guys got my attention. Elvin Bethea in Houston, we could not block Elvin Bethea, defensive tackle for the Oilers. We could not block him. We never had a good running game against Houston in all my 14 years because we couldn't block him.
Wow.
But you don't have fear because, as you guys know, if you go out there scared, you're pretty much history. Mm. You have respect and you feel the excitement of trying to get them, outwit them, sucker them, running game, whatever, play action. That's the fun part of it. But the fear part, you just can't play with fear.
That's great.
And Lambert, you asked me about Lambert's comment about dresses. If you met Jack Lambert, you wouldn't be intimidated by Jack Lambert. He's a beanstalk. We called him Scarecrow. Straw hair, straw blonde hair, and just a loud mouth, really smart guy. Really, really smart guy. And really well read. He read all the time, but he was just full of just bark, just bark. He'd come off the field, he'd just jump my case. Bradshaw gave you, get out of your score. What the heck's going on out there? And you just laugh at him and move on about your way. We ran, remember, Mark, when we tilted the defensive tackle, Joe Green, we tilted him at the center. Right. That was a gap, and it's a slant. And what that was to force the center and the guard to double team Joe to free the middle linebacker, which was Lambert, so Lambert could run. If you didn't, he was too little, and the guard get a clean shot on him. They only 219.
Wow.
Yeah, 219. Wow.
Do you think other teams feared Lambert, or was he?
Joe Green was who they feared.
Yeah.
His nickname in pros was Mean Joe Green.
Yeah.
I saw him take the helmet off of Charles Babb, the center for Cleveland, and like Samson and the jawbone of an ass, and wear out that offensive line of the Cleveland Browns. They scattered like a covey of quail. He took the helmet, ran to the Browns bench. They scattered there. He threw the helmet into the sand. The referees are trying to stop him. He runs to the end zone, 60, 70 yards, steals the ball, takes the ball back, goes the other way, throws it up in the sand. Everybody is trying to stop him. Chuck Noll, I'm standing on the sideline. I was a rookie. I'm standing on the sideline. I'm just like this. And I like to remind him, you know, how nasty he was. He hates it when I call him Mean Joe Green, but that's what I call him. But he was bad. He did the same thing in Denver. He got that center and clubbed him right in the groin. Warner, you hold me one more time, I'm taking you out. Sure enough, out he went. Out went Joe.
Hey, this is JT. I've got a quick question for you. You know, like in football, when you put on the uniform, it doesn't matter where you're from, right? Where you grew up, you're all on the same team. And that's the same thing with scouting, right? Our young people put on their uniform, doesn't matter where they grew up, where they're from, what their religion is, doesn't matter. They're part of the team, and they're learning about leadership, citizenship, and you know, they all are together, learning together. So you've had a really diverse background. You've worked with lots of different people from all different backgrounds, all different cultures, whether it's been on the football field or in the movie studios or in the broadcast booth. Tell us a little bit about your experience in working with people from all different diverse backgrounds in our country.
Well, let me take you right back to 1970. I remember as a little boy in the 50s, going to the store. My mother would send me to the store to get a loaf of bread. And I would go in the white door, and there was the colored door. So I remember those days. Yeah. And the black people would check out on one side, and the white people would check it over here. Forward to 70, I got drafted. I was the first pick in the draft. And the social culture, the ethnicity of everyone from Asian to black to white to Spanish, whatever, was Jewish, was rampant.
Yeah.
And I remember getting to the Steelers and going to the chow hall, and all the black athletes were on one side of the table, and all the white athletes were on the other side of the table. And I've been a part of any of this. I never played with a black athlete until I got to Pittsburgh. Played against one black athlete in college, Ruby Jackson, at New Mexico State. He was a Bronco. So it was an eye-opener to be sitting there, and it was kind of scary to have all the black athletes for the Steelers there and the whites here. And I remember one day, Frenchie Fuqua, our running back, came over and pulled up a chair by me. So he left his black brothers and come join his white brothers. And I'm telling you, I'm sitting there and I'm so uncomfortable because they're having it out. And Frenchie said it best. He said, we're a team here. These are my brothers. And, you know, we got to stop sitting over there and we got to start mingling here. And he broke the ice for that whole thing for the blacks and whites. That was a great lesson for me, a great lesson. And it has worked true today. And everything I've done from football with learning how to deal with high octane athletes. I mean, high octane guys whose motors are, they're pretty rampant. To dealing with that, to dealing with the pressure of losing and poor performance on my part, having to deal with that. College was learning how to study and prepare. And learning the various defenses, pros, the same thing. When I went into movies, taking direction from a director and the producer and the leading stars, whether it was Burt Reynolds, Ed Helms, Owen Wilson, so many, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., all these guys I did movies with. Whenever, I'm a loudmouth, as y'all probably can tell, but whenever I get around a group of people that I really am interested in to see how they are, I get quiet and I observe. And I find that by observing, my knowledge, my strength, my acceptance of their lifestyle and who they are is fulfilled. I get a better feel for the whole situation. So I keep my mouth shut. I'm really good at listening. Even on the Fox pregame show, I lean forward and I listen to everything everybody has to say. I'm the co-host, but I listen because what they've got to say is important, or they wouldn't say it. And number two, you learn so much by listening, and you never know when they say something that triggers something. And in television, we're communicators, like we are right here today. We're communicating. You're interviewing me, I'm trying to entertain, and through that entertainment, I'm trying to give you something for the scouts, for the leaders to have. But in every phase of life, whether it's recording music, going out on stage, I do a show in Vegas every year, 54 shows a year. All of those things represent a different form, not only of entertainment, but of leadership skills. Because now I got to lead a band, and I got to coach the band. I got to tell them how I want to do it. I got to work with a lighting director. I got to work with a choreographer. I got to work with all these people, and I'm the quarterback, so I'm the guy in charge. And I have found out, and I may answer some future questions with this answer right here, but I have found out I may be the leader just because I'm the quarterback, but that doesn't make me a leader. Okay, that doesn't mean I'm the leader. I'm just the quarterback. And I'm one of those guys that, knowing that I have the strength to lead, knowing that they will follow me, frees me up to free them up so they can relax and perform by asking them questions. Movies, how do you do this? Why do you do that? Bert, why is this? Why? Just listen, ask. Learn that by listening as the leader, great things happen. And I can tell you, Super Bowl 14 when Stallworth made those two big catches, we're sitting there in the huddle saying 70 basic slot hook and go, and he's going, Brad, I'll lean heavy on him and freeze his legs. Then I'll go by him. That's exactly what he did. Yeah. That's how we played back then. And in movies, Burt Reynolds was always the star. He was the leader of the bunch, but he wanted direction from people that he respected. He would even ask me about certain scenes and stuff. So in everything, whether it's music or whatever, it's important. It was always important for me to listen, knowing I had a voice, but not forcing my voice on people just because they say I'm the leading, I'm the quarterback, so therefore I got to carry the show. I just believe you get more things done by gathering more information from the people that you're performing with or competing with out in the battle.
That's great. That's a great example for our young people, listening, and respecting others, that's so important in today's society.
And you know what too, JT? Young people don't want to listen. Now they got headphones and they're on their phone all the time. It's like when my kids come here and say, put the phone up, talk to me.
Right. Well, and the connectedness and connecting with others and connecting with the outdoors, that's what scouting's all about.
Sure.
We give opportunities for young people to put down that iPhone, to get away from the static of society that's always buzzing around them and get into the outdoors. And so one of our scouts wanted me to ask you about, what do you like to do in the outdoors? Camping or fishing or hunting? We've got lots of great things in Alabama. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, I just got back from a 10-day cross-country road trip with my wife, and we went to Minnesota. We went to Table Rock in Missouri. We went on the lakes, we went in the streams. We sat out on the back porch with just the two of us. Then we drove through Minnesota, met a friend in Minnesota, then through the Badlands, Wyoming, Montana, into the mountains, into the stream. And the whole time we got our mouth wide open. Look at this, look at that. Oh my God, I didn't realize it. Mount Rushmore. I got teary-eyed at Mount Rushmore because it was finished in 1941, I believe. And it was just like, oh my God. And just, I couldn't take my eye. It was a spiritual moment. And my wife said, are you okay? I said, I've been looking at this ever since I've been on this earth. And to be here in its presence, something I always wanted to do, it really touched me. And the work that went in by the people that created it and how they did it, it just blew my mind. I'm a huge outdoor guy. I don't hunt, but I do fish. I love to fish. We fish a lot. We don't fish much in the summer, too hot, but we fish in the fall and the spring. We fish 6-7 months a year out here. And we spend all our time outside, just like a lot of folks. I have almost 300 head of horses on this ranch. Oh, wow. So we're in the horse business. We stand 12 studs. My wife and I, we love, you're asking me about the outdoors. While we were in Wyoming, Montana, South Dakota, all the people along the creeks had their fires going and their coffee on it. And we were talking, we had got to come back. Yeah. And just sit on a river's edge. Those rivers are, you never seen anything like Yellowstone. Oh my God. And the bison that walked by blew my mind, but to sit out there and smell that fresh air and hear that water running down that river and going over those rocks and catch some trout and cook them for breakfast. It doesn't get any better than that. Yeah. You know, we have 10 dogs here, and I love getting up with them in the morning and saying, okay, let's go potty. The herd heads outside.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I don't know how you do with that many
dogs. Back over to Scott now.
That's enough sometimes.
Do I?
I tell you though, this has been fantastic, Terry. I can't tell you what a pleasure it's been. We're getting close on time. I know for me personally, I would stay here all afternoon with you and just enjoy the stories. And I know JT and Mark feel the same way. Well, I do know that at one time you were a spokesman for the National Boy Scouts of America popcorn sale years ago. And they had a slogan named Join a Winning Team. So what's one last thing you could share with the Scouts in Alabama about being a part of a winning team?
Well, everybody wants to be a part of being number one. There's not a human being in the world that, if you're number one, you're the winner. You're the guy that's winning. And it's very important. Let me give you a quick synopsis of my drive to be the best. I had to find out what it was about me that was special. Everyone you look at, there is beauty. Everything you look at, there is beauty. You got to look for it. Every person has the title and the deed to their dreams. Now, we don't all achieve them, but the journey is pretty special. And I've always said, you don't necessarily have to be number one. Win every football game. I lost them, so that makes me a loser. We won 4 Super Bowls, so that makes me a winner. But I have found that I had to learn what it was about Terry Bradshaw that was special. All right? And special means what's in here. What am I thinking? And my whole thought process as a child from 7 years old was, I'm going to play in the NFL. And I told my dad, I'm going to play in the NFL. That's what I wanted. And I was consumed with that. And so therefore, I put in the work. I put in the effort. God blessed me with a work ethic. And I had great, I'll say leaders, but I had great male examples. I had great family examples. I came from a Christian home, a great mom, a great dad who loved and supported me, which was important because I would come home sometimes crying because I didn't make the football team. Tried out in the 7th grade, didn't make the football team, broken hearted. 8th grade, didn't make the football team, broken hearted. And that was always what I wanted to do. So the most important thing is find out what your passion is. And you can find it. It doesn't have to be in sports, doesn't matter. And then Work hard for it. And if it's really your passion, you'll have so many stumbling blocks. There's an old song, Don't Walk on the Stones That I Stumbled On. You remember that song? Same thing here. You're going to stumble. But if it's really down in your heart, if it's really what you want, you're just going to pick yourself up. You're going to learn from your mistakes, and then you're going to party on. You're going to keep on going forward. And when I got drafted #1 in Pittsburgh, called stupid and dumb and Ozark, I put on the bench, pulled bench, put back in the game, pulled again, told I wasn't this and I wasn't that. Not one time did I ever quit. Not me. That's what I was so proud of. And I think what you have going on there, I think scouting is just fabulous. And the American Values Luncheon, for people to donate it. For those that have not donated, hey, right now, let's donate. There's nothing like building these young men and giving them hope and a vision for the future, because that's what they want. Hope is all anybody wants. And to be there. In some cases, you're the father figure. In a lot of cases, you probably are. So what you all are doing, Alabama, I'm proud of you. I'm proud you had me on today. This has been good. Got me 3 new friends here.
Hi, I'm JT Dabb, Scout Executive of the Greater Alabama Council of Boy Scouts of America. Today we have heard the importance of developing leaders and helping others from Terry Bradshaw. We also know that everyone likes to be on a winning team, and our Scouts are winning in life because of your support. The American Values Luncheon has raised over $1.3 million this year, and contributions are continuing to come in online. Thank you for your support and for being part of our winning team. Please know that your gift has made a difference in the lives of the youth and the families that we serve. Thank you so much for each and every dollar that you have given in support of Scouting. If you haven't had a chance to give yet, you can still do so. That information is now on your screen. Special thanks to our event sponsors and to our volunteer team that worked so hard to make this event happen today. Your generous support will create a better future for all of our Scouts. You instill in the youth that we serve hope, compassion, duty, and faith. And for that, we are eternally grateful. During these trying times that we have faced as a nation, Scouting has continued. It has continued in homes all across our community, virtually and in person, at camp and through the outdoor adventures that our Scouts have participated in. Your support has allowed us to continue Scouting in a safe way, and for that, we are so appreciative. We continue to keep all of you, our first responders, and those who keep our nation going, and our local and national leadership in our thoughts and prayers. We hope to see all of you in person next year at this event. God bless you and your family.